I had always been an avid baker. Candy kind of came about just because I was experimenting one day, and I just kind of fell into it and loved it. A lot of candy makers don't make non-chocolate candies. Most of them focus pretty much on chocolate. But, I know a ton of people who don't like chocolate. Nobody was making caramels and nobody makes peanut brittle. So, when I decided to do this, I was like, I want to make more than just chocolate. I don't want to just be a chocolatier. My favorite thing is when I hand people samples, and here I had the big sample thing, and I always hand people samples, and some people just kind of take them because they're being polite. They come in, they're like, oh, I really don't want to, I'll take it. And they're kind of like, oh, this poor girl, let me eat one of her samples. And then they plop it in their mouth, and they're like, oh my God. And that is the best moment ever, because you're like, you totally weren't even going to eat that, were you? Of the truffles, the most popular one is the Aztec spice. That's the one that most people are kind of a little trepidatious about. They're a little like, do I? It's my ode to the original chocolates. It's a dark chocolate truffle, and it has cinnamon and vanilla, and it has a little chile powder. And then it's dipped in more chocolate, and then it's topped with some smoked paprika, which is divine. Heat starts mixing in with the dark chocolate and the cinnamon, and it is this huge experience. And most people aren't expecting it. People love the peanut brittle. Simple peanut brittle. People really love peanut brittle. And it's one of those things I always tell people, I'm like, it's one of those things where people forget how much they love it until they see it. And they're like, I love peanut brittle. It's like, I forgot. My favorite part of candy making is lollipops. I love lollipops. They are probably the most fun thing to make. And it's exciting. You get a little giggly. I get a little giggly because you're like, lollies, I'm making lollies. And it's just fun. The cool thing about lollipops is regardless of how old they are, everyone becomes a little kid again with lollipops. You can get candy anywhere. You can get candy that's way more expensive and way cheaper than my candy. But what you can't get is the experience of dealing with me as a candy maker anywhere. You can't get, the fact that you can come to me and say, well, I like this. Can you make that for me? And I'll say, sure. If it's something I can make, yeah, absolutely, no problem. It is more than just the artistic aspect of making the candy itself. There is a connection you have with people. There is a limit to how big I want to get. I don't want to get so big that I'm not producing this stuff by hand, or that nobody's producing this stuff by hand. I think the fact that it is all natural, the fact that it is handmade, that's where my core is. Whatever it takes to keep my business afloat, I'm going to do that. I believe in what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. It is the most rewarding thing I've done.